Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Arena here in Katowice. We like to save the best until last, and although it's been such an intensely good day of games, we do have our last two games, of course, to see who qualifies. We just saw Mouse Sports. They will be playing on home soil at ESL 1 Cologne, but we still have one more team to see today. Of course, losing teams in these last two games still have a chance to play through tomorrow, but of course, teams are hungry to qualify and to qualify now. So let's bring our first team up onto the stage to be kicking things off. It's going to be FaZe. Oh, sorry, they're not on the stage. Aha, gotcha. Whew. They're actually backstage, which is a bit of a shame because I would have liked to have them up here as well. Getting a bit ahead of myself. But it is going to be FaZe Clan, of course, who started off very, very strong against Dignitas. 16-8 it was. And their attacking side was definitely very, very strong. Their terrorist work was excellent. Their mid-control also on CT was what really put Dignitas out. Of course, they moved on to take on Flipside. And despite what Kiyoshima said about them playing fluid and not really that rigid tactically, we actually saw quite a solid put together for them on a lot of their T-side rounds. And of course, their opponent's going to be Gambit as well, who have been just humble from the very beginning. Every time I speak to Hooch, he always says, no real, I mean, we expect to qualify, that's what we want, but we don't come in with these expectations. We're not scared of anyone. We don't respect anyone too much, but we also don't disrespect them as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. I'm still sad we can't get to see them up here on the stage and get the atmosphere going, but they're going to be out the back. We've got a big crowd up, filling up in here as well. And Alex, this one definitely should be solid, my friend. I don't know what your thoughts are here as well. I don't know whose story you believe about with FaZe when it comes to tactics or no tactics, but either way, they're probably going to need some here.
I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because the desk started pretty critical of FaZe, but they've kind of proven us wrong, Mitch.
Well, that's right. Everyone was coming, was fairly harsh, but that's just them not really converting their online results into these LAN results. But now, Alex, I mean, starting off beating Dignitas, that for us, I think we're already pretty convinced by then.
I mean, that was the start of the end, really, for Dignitas, but also just making FaZe look pretty damn scary. Gambit have got their work cut out for this. I'll talk to the boys on the desk. Thanks, Mitch. This is going to be tough. Truly a tough tale. Where do we start? Natu Vendetta, where would you like to start this adventure discussing our final game of day 3 here at the offline qualifiers?
I would like to point out that FaZe has actually looked way more complete than they have in a long time, in my opinion. Both sides, like they're individually, obviously you're going to expect them to be there individually, but as a team, they're making a lot of good choices. They're playing off of each other to make a situation fair for them more often than not. So far, it feels to me that this change of lineup they have, where they added Kishima now, having some time to practice, seems to be working. They seem to have found this nice dynamic where they're good at making decisions together.
Now, I just want to pick your historical brain. You always pull out some random team name that blew my mind. I want to do it again for this discussion surrounding FaZe and their style of play. Have we ever seen this work before, Halvor? If you rewind Natu as well, you know, you're kind of a father figure in CS. Have we ever seen this caliber of player forged together and just trying to make it work? Have we ever seen that an example of that before?
I guess it's not really exactly the same, but you have the SK lineups from 2010 when they joined up with Gitright and Forest and pretty much created an all-star lineup of Swedes. So we didn't have that multinational aspect of it, but
if you want to go multinational, then NOA back in
well,
the day.
yeah, if you want to go to 2004, 2003, then you had NOA. But that wasn't really all-stars at the time because you started out that lineup with BSL, Knoxville, and those guys.
Enough. But this is what I'm saying, right? There's not many examples of what FaZe are doing working. And so they are themselves writing a little bit of history for CS if they can get themselves to that major again and prove us what they are capable of. It has just been a long time coming for FaZe, and the maps are going to be a big part of that. We're already actually working our way through it. Okay, let's play catch up. Halvor, jump in.
Well, as you can see, Cobblestone has been vetoed for FaZe, Mirage, and Overpass going the wayside of Gambit. Overpass have been kind of the consistent thing for Gambit to ban out up to this point. Mirage makes sense given how we've seen FaZe play on it. Kind of dismantled Dignitas completely on that map, so understandable that they want to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Initially, FaZe apparently haven't practiced nuke or have any shenanigans planned on that, so that goes off the wayside. Them removing Dust 2, it's an okay map for them, but right now they're sitting left with 2 pretty good options for themselves. Really, they don't have to be too scared of Gambit, in my opinion, if this ends up, let's say, on Cash, for instance.
Yeah, I mean,
Train is also a good map for them.
The thing with these two teams again is the fact that they share similarities with their map pool.
Yeah.
So they like to play the same maps. It's going to be Train in the end. So this should.
I think that's the best. The lesser evil of the two. If you're Gambit.
Okay. So trying to soften the blow there. That doesn't. I mean, let's be honest. We've only seen Cobblestone from Gambit so far. That's how they got to this position where they are 2-0 up.
Yeah, I'm still not bought with Gambit, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Since the change with Waylander. Like I said earlier in the desk, I felt when they had Waylander, they had that lineup going on. They seemed to me like a force that could have gone through even the groups at the major.
They almost did.
Yeah, they almost did, obviously. And yeah, ever since it's been really flimsy for them. Like they haven't been producing anything, to be honest with you. So them being 2-0 up here at the qualifier is very surprising. But again, it's just based off of one map that they played. So this is another great hurdle for them to try and get over.
Do you agree with his sentiments there? Do you believe this is going to be kind of the end of that 2-0 run for Gambit? We're going to be seeing much more of them tomorrow?
I think we're going to see more of them tomorrow. But then again, I expected the same from G2. They hadn't shown any signs of weakness leading up to this qualifier. Kind of similar to FaZe, and well, they have to walk, that walk of atonement really, because that was a shameful performance. I'm hoping to see a bit of a better side of FaZe.
Did we ever kind of poke fun at FaZe in their inconsistency? This would be a time, one map versus an opponent they haven't so often played. This could be that, those problems, those footfalls that FaZe have yet to fall into here at the qualifier.
Well, honestly, ever since they got Kiyoshima, they haven't necessarily been that inconsistent. Sure, they might win and lose games on and off from each other, so they haven't gotten a consistent win streak per se, but they've consistently had good performances. And I think that's what you have to look at. And given the kind of leagues they play in, ECS, for instance, which is where they've been the most active as of late, it's pretty stacked teams in that league. So coming here, there's probably, the level is a tiny bit lower. And that's something, that should carry them through. Just having that solid performance all the way through.
To me, it has to be, for Gambit, it has to be a bit of a Mo show here, to be honest with you. If FaZe is going to show any hesitation with their executes when they're going to the bomb sites, that's when he can be the factor that's going to make a difference for Gambit. But to me, so far, FaZe has seemed way too. We were talking about consistency. They've actually seemed very consistent. So I just don't see a chance for Gambit to win this.
Okay, well, you've made your intentions clear. Just quickly, are you going to continue?
I'm going to join him on the FaZe train.
The FaZe prediction. All right, so we're jumping on the FaZe train. It's time to see ourselves a second team going to the major. This is, of course, that third day. Already a spot held by Mouse Sports, and now it's a battle between FaZe and Gambit on train to determine who will be the second of day 3.
Thank you very much, Alex. And yeah, what a great game to end out the day on, to find out which team will be going through towards the major here, Blue. I don't know what to say about this one. It's got to be FaZe, surely, if you're a betting man, but you've got to believe a little in Gambit.
No, absolutely. I mean, they've showed up so far to this event, and they've definitely brought their A game to it once again. But I do have to agree with this, the sentimentals of the desk saying that, ever since we saw them bow out in the groups at the major, it's been pretty lackluster for them, especially with the departure of Waylander going over to his new team as well. So it kind of begs the question as to where did this stride come from, and now where does it actually end for themselves? Already getting past NV yesterday, and now their biggest challenge will be FaZe. But if they can make it through here, then they've got the second ticket punch to the major.
It will be the first time we're seeing them away from Cobblestone as well. It's been a purely Cobblestone run over for Gambit, getting themselves down to that, which clearly worked out for them quite well. Can't really hold it against them. Again, the cash run almost worked out for Tyloo. But here's the break. He'll be down on train. I believe there are a couple of issues just being resolved right now, hence why you're still staring at us. The fact being, I think there's FaZe having a couple of maybe sound issues, so that's being resolved as we speak. So no worries on that one. That'll be underway nice and quick. But yeah, your prediction, I assume you're on the FaZe train here?
Yeah, I would think so. I don't think it's just going to be an outright shutdown, though. I do think that Gambit are going to put up a pretty good fight here. And
okay.
I would still say double digits at the very least for Gambit before we end up seeing FaZe close it out.
Yeah, it's been a much kind of cleaner affair for FaZe throughout their games. I don't think either of the opponents actually broke into double digits against them. They looked pretty strong. And even on good maps for opponents, I look at Dignitas, of course, on Mirage. That was one of the maps where you think, okay, Dignitas are extremely strong here. And they started out very predictably. And even though FaZe said, well, we don't really counter too much, we do some prep here and there, but we just play our own game, they seem to just approach it very nicely. So I wonder how much they've been able to read into Gambit, or if they even did at all.
I honestly just feel like so far at this event, FaZe Clan have probably been out of the two teams that are coming into this qualifier as teams that have held previous Legend slots. I feel like FaZe is just looking way more consistent across the board in terms of outclassing their opponents.
Definitely.
And that they show that they've previously been able to hold a Legend position 1, and they're trying to earn that back desperately. And indeed, guys, it does actually look like the match has started now. So we're going to get ourselves into the game. Once again, Gambit will be jumping onto the T side, with FaZe Clan starting off on the defense. It'll be on train, so let's get into it.
Yeah, and once for all, at least during this event, we'll find out if Keo was actually the problem. FaZe going to be rolling into this one. Let's bear in mind, Rain has been having a sick performance, AZ as well. Everyone's starting to play a very good game over on the FaZe side. So this is where it all comes down to. Gambit, as you said, starting out on the T side. CT side going to be FaZe Clan, and they believe it is all going to be A. Keo, Fox, Jacame, Rain, and AZ all lining up here, and AZ's going to get a face full soon. 3 players going to try and push down Ivy, but he's already found one. Makes it a second. What an impression into this game already, and these shots are not missing for FaZe.
So far, only seeing Spaze and Adrian being able to pick up some resistance now from the T side of things, but it's not going to last very long. Kiyoshima coming in there takes down the last player left alive, and it will be indeed FaZe Clan leading the charge for their CT side.
The Gambit, not sure if they were read into there or just good positioning. Again, FaZe seem to have that weird attitude that I think Mitch picked the brain of Ray Little, like, you say you've not prepared, but you seem to be putting yourselves in really good spots in this one. And again, they find a way to work their way into this round absolutely perfectly, assuming or maybe just assembling themselves very nicely towards that Ivy play. But Gambit can go back into this one. No reason not to, as they do have now the Deagles, the armor, and they're looking for an opportunity to do some work.
For Gambit, though, Hoocher leads the charge right now, pressing himself a little bit more forward over to the back of the B-bomb site, whereas in the meantime, Doge is also investigating things back over towards Ivy. FaZe Clan, though, pretty evenly spread out. And it looks like Gambit will be lining up the default play into the outer yard. However, with Hoocher finding that first great pickup on Nikio, could change plans, but they're not going to decide to go for it. Still falling back now above the ladder room. Getting ready to drop in and take control of the outer yard.
And Hooch being quite vocal about how they played, and you can see as to why, doing some great deals of work here. Spaze, what is that? That's a triple coming in for him. That's going to open up this site completely. Now Fox is all alone, just left scratching his head going, what on earth just went down? There's an M4 in front of him, but Fox dares to reach over and grab it, not aware of where the opposition is currently standing. This could be very, very tough, and I think Fox knows that. He's going to resign himself to just sitting here and waiting to see what comes his way, but what a turn of events for Gambit.
And indeed, now they've stricken back. For Fox, though, he's going to have to try and do as much damage as possible. He knows he's not winning the round, but falling away from it here, he is able to, at the very least, keep the M4 in check. And it looks like he may have one more target to take down there before he is really safe, and that'll come against Doja. Nicely done from Fox. Takes him right back down, but regardless of all this damage that Fox may be doing at the end of the round, the Gambit now will tie things up, and that's going to turn the economy of FaZe Clan right on its head.
He's going to hear these steps. Adjusted so well then, Fox. Beautifully done. Beautifully done, sure, but actually not beautifully enough, of course, to win the round there. 1-1 now. Wow, Gambit really striking back in style, and that's gone and completely trashed the money over here for FaZe. But they're going to force up, so CZ's a hell of a lot of armor. The rifle gets dropped out to Jacame, and then well, Fox is going to buy one himself, so they have 2 rifles now present. But this is a very deadly start.
And so for Gambit here, very quickly lining their players up in the T-Con, getting ready to put some pressure outside, but a couple more players pushed up too. Watching back now for FaZe to maybe get a little bit more aggressive. Not finding them just as of yet, but you can see Fox also playing fairly close up to the T-Con too, waiting to see if he can catch some of these guys moving inside, but not going to be able to spot anything just yet. Still though, very aggressive defense being held here by FaZe, wanting to deny them any presence on the site. That's unfortunately what caught them last time. They gave them a little bit too much control, and they just snap them. And that FaZe lost very quick control of things, and that allowed Gambit to strike back and tie it up now 1-1.
There were a couple of teams kind of falling away from that aggressive stance, which cost them a hell of a lot of presence on this map. So good to see FaZe bring themselves into this, being very active. It does play very well into the hands, however, of those CZs, so they get to actually play those angles a lot better. So that can actually be another factor as to why they're doing it. But it seems that Gambit, not sure about the buy they're coming up against, going to look towards this B site. Now, hearing that M4 rattle off, assuming maybe just could be Fox possibly there, knowing that was taken over. Smokes go down, most strikes already. That's going to mean the site is looking pretty tasty now for the T side, but Rain going to find one back quickly. So Keo to jump up and find a little bit of damage here. And oh my word, okay, FaZe are now just back into this. It's just down to Dozier. What on earth is happening in this game? Back and forth we go. And FaZe just holding the line.
It's going to be trading back and forth and back again now. The real question for Gambit is, of course, do they go aggressively or into it? And now we've already got an answer. Hooch buys up, Deagle in armor. And for the rest of them, haven't bought yet, but indeed, here they go. Mao being able to pick up a scout. Adrend is going all in now as well with a rifle, picking up a Galil. For the rest of them, though, it's all Deagles, so they're going to want to battle for control of the economy here, but FaZe Clan currently has the edge in striking back on that last round.
Oh, no. Seen one. Backs off from it. Not going to write these guys out of these rounds after seeing what Space achieved before with the Deagle. And again, a little bit of a tag goes towards AZ. He loses out on half of his HP here. Now going to be supported by Rain. Double peek towards Ivy, and they win it. Dozier removed means a big threat's off the board. That pinch looking a little less enticing for Gambit as Mo loses the angle. Have to fight to find that again.
Space burning up a little bit there inside the ladder room, but not being found out just as of yet. You can see Mao, though, trying to line up something with the scout, but still not being found. So damage being done now, though, but Jacob holding the line just over here behind the blue train. The first train coming outside of T-Con, but there's Mao along with Space picking up 2 kills. AZ, though, coming in with 2 of his own. And that's going to be most of the driving force from Gambit going down now. Hoocher rotating his way over to the B-bomb site, going to try to pull something off. He actually might catch Keo on an off angle, but quick reaction from him. Also going to drop down for the train. It keeps him alive. And although he does great damage, it's not been enough yet. The bomb's going to go down, and he just grabs it before being eliminated by Kirishima. At the very least, they do find the plant. Nonetheless, though, FaZe will be going 3-1. Keo, a little bit of trouble defusing that bomb, but still going to be able to get it.
Patience is a virtue, Keo. Waited eventually. Didn't want to use the smoke to invest into that. And you can wait just perfectly fine. So there we go. FaZe 3-1 up. A good couple of plants coming out for Gambit, or at least, you know, a lot of close rounds back and forth. Space being a bit of a heavy hitter throughout that. The Deagle ringing pretty darn true. However, this round, time to probably step away from it. They don't want to kind of get stuck in that really downward spiral of consistently buying into rounds without that full backing behind them. And they've done just that. So P250s galore. A bomb plant would be perfect. And it looks like FaZe aren't too happy with that concept, as Rain already going on the MP9. He's been on looking for these early picks and early fighting. He might have just heard a step actually above him, so I can imagine he might stick around here by Pomp just a little longer.
He's peeking at a bit of a weird time, though, so he's having trouble executing the players. Down to 16 HP. Jacob, though, back behind Electric, is the one that strikes true and hard. Moving in, taking down both Mao and Hooch. Now, Adrian trying to turn something around, but it's going to be Jacob that connects again with another headshot on his USP.
That USP shot does strange things to me. I swear to God. That was just beautifully done. All right, Dozier. 12 HP in a dream. To be fair, Rain and Jacob are low, but I doubt. Oh, easy.
Throw it.
Do it. Close enough.
Touchdown.
That'll do. Yep. Nicely done. Saves any problem there. These guys are really looking chilled out, happy about it. And that's the thing with FaZe. If they start enjoying the game, you can see so much power to the way they play. As individuals, before when you saw them start to struggle, they did start to look very down on things. Maybe back, you know, Makalele days more than anything. Now they look far more relaxed into this so far, especially 4-1 up at the moment. I'd be as well, but Rain being cheeky here, sticking on the MP9 up against a fully bought up side, or at least to some decent enough margin. A little lacking on utility, but still 3 smokes, enough to be put down into players. Now Rain's going to be the one being a real aggressor in this matter.
Some nade damage coming his way, though, as they do suspect some pressure to be in this direction, but he's got this very aggressive position. Adrian noticing it, though, actually going to be able to properly punish it, takes down Rain, and gains the edge for Gambit yet again at the beginning of this round. Beyond that, though, no other forward momentum being gained by yet here on the tees. Just going to be happy to take that advantage and still line up the sort of default play they are posturing towards right now.
Natu saying it had to be the Mo show here. Good opportunity for it. No orb to oppose him, I guess, at this point, so he can really find a little bit more room to work. But at the moment, pretty far back himself. He is one of the players who does have the smoke, so you can imagine if they do want to construct that hit towards A, they're going to need him to retain that, not be an early play into this. And they are going to utilize those smokes right about now. Double flash out towards A, and Adrian and Mo going to go for it. Good first check there. Jacob's not going to get away with it again. Now it's down to Fox and AZ to hold the A site, as Keo has to be the last standing bastion towards B, and does want to give up that ground, but does win out in his battle in the end. Excuse me, Hooch wins out in that battle in the end, and now you can see them falling like flies. Great play from Gambit, very cautious, very patient, and they will close down quite comfortably on that one. Nicely done. 5 alive as well, so they retain everything they began with. They can start building their own economy.
Adrian opening things up quite nicely there for Gambit. Not only that, but every other 1v1 that the guys on Gambit got put into, they win with class there. So the map was wide open for them. Any choice they wanted to go for, it was clear that they could indeed take it. So they'll be able to bounce back really nicely here. Still keeping the scoreline very close, which is not necessarily too good of a thing right now for FaZe Clan. You want to be holding a very solid lead on the CT side, especially on a map like Train, and allowing Gambit to keep things this close, especially if it's going to be consistent, could prove to be very dangerous going into the later rounds. But still from Gambit, this is one thing that could become problematic for them later on in the half, is that right now, for the T side, it is still fairly straightforward with what they're bringing in terms of executions. A lot of sort of default lineups, a lot of heavy play towards the ladder rim, which does tend to be something that we see from a lot of teams here. So in theory, FaZe Clan, if they get the read on this, it should be easily countered out. And you can already see, too, focusing a lot of their pressure at the moment on the outer yard, where more than likely we're going to see the play heading towards.
Where Jacob is. Okay, he's going to put himself up above. Pretty nice position there. Again, if they do go towards A, as you said it pretty much spot on, they have some really nice setups for this. And This time no one pushed far forward. Before you had Rain up close, Jacob up close, now sitting further back, seeming far more prepared for what could be another default hit. Smoke starts to come in, and let's see if they can survive this test. Fox is going to be tested first here, but doesn't actually come with a good, so has to be relinquishing that spot on that angle and allow Gambit to further themselves here.
Doja, nicely done though, working his way out through Ivy. For some reason they weren't covering it. Jacob did reply, and now he's got Doja on the ropes here too. As AZ's going to be working his way back out, he's down to 12 HP. But Mo picking up some frags again, he'll finally be taken down. Or apologies, it's going to be Hoocher taken down by Fox. Mo is still alive and well here, but it's Fox in the extra tunnel, looking for another pickup of his own. The players moving up to the bomb train. Keo has a slight angle. He's bringing these players down so low. It's both Mo along with Doja now down at 8 and 12 HP. FaZe needs to get a piece of the action here, but right now he's hiding up in heaven. Nonetheless, though, they gain enough control in order to get the bomb down, but you can see Fox has a great position from here, making a lot of noise, though, so he's got to be cautious about it. And with that peek from Mo, shuts out Fox, and Kiyoshima is going to go to save.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. The Mo show's about to begin. 3 kills that round for him. Big impact play towards it, and I've got to highlight again, where was AZ in that? Dozy was allowed to push through Ivy, find that one-to-one against Rain, and that opened up everything. You can kind of further pressure the A site so much if you get through Ivy as cleanly as they did. You can really see the high fives going out. They know this round's secured. Keo's going to run away, keep hold of the M4, and they're going to do just the same thing, trying to retain all these weapons, even though they're so low.
Does having trouble getting a high five there, as it would seem. Denied. But he does actually keep himself alive there, and you're right to mention that. AZ should have had him dead to rights, but for whatever reason didn't feel he had the initiation rights to push him there in order to take him down without getting traded out himself. So a bit hesitant in that regard, and with that, a lot of extra players from Gambit managed to survive that round and necessarily should have and actually win that round, where there was still a very plausible situation that FaZe could have retaken that there.
Again, just to remind ourselves, FaZe did manage to turn around before with just CZs. They actually had the armor to go with it as well, though, and a little bit more to work with. They still have that M4 towards Keo, so actually he's not soloing out on B anymore. He's left Rain to that. He's going to pull himself over towards A to try and play more of an impactful role, because Gambit really are exploiting this A site, which is quite surprising. Normally, FaZe are pretty proficient at holding it, pretty well-rounded. This time seeming to struggle a little. Smoke going to be looking for any chances, anyone out of position here, but Fox and Jay can push up pretty far at the point. They're going to try and just do as much impact as possible with those pistols.
AZ looking for the deagle shots. Looks like it's on point, but there's a wall in the way. So not going to be connecting just as of yet. Looking for another one. You got to peek just a little bit wider to find those. So for now, they get to keep themselves alive. But Doji now down very low at 27 HP. After being hit from that, going to have to be a bit more cautious now. And FaZe will take the charge as he pushes himself down Ivy right now to look for a way in the site. The timing of this could actually work out great, but it looks like IZ is now drawing his attention much closer towards this. The flashbang, though, is going to connect perfectly onto IZ, but there's the first shot coming out. Takes down FaZe, and look at this. Now we've got control of the bomb as well, so Gambit, they're left with no choice. They got to go in for the execute here. Fox picking up another one. Adrian finally putting something onto the board for Gambit. Mo coming back in there. He's going to find one, too. Kiyoshima still fragging from up top, but again, it's Adrian getting these big impact frags that allows Gambit to get back into this game. Doja moving in, but now Rain looking to finish things off. He's got Doja at 1 HP, but it's not going to be enough. He finds the reply, and Gambit just barely win that round.
Doja just about staying alive then. My word. And Keo just had that ace up his sleeve for so long, or at least should I say FaZe did in the form of Keo. Didn't quite get the chance to use it in time. So 4-4 now, and you mentioned it. Close scorelines like this don't look good for FaZe, especially on that CT side. You want them to start breaking ahead, building their economy up for themselves. But for Gambit, this is perfect. This is a great beginning for them, starting to really build up. And they haven't been doing much, out of the ordinary. This is good A hits, and there hasn't been much of a response from this. There hasn't been much aggression throughout the map. In other aspects, there haven't been those B plays. There hasn't been Keo pushing up through brown halls. Again, you can't really challenge through Ivy, as Doja or Mo or one or the other have been pretty present. But there hasn't been much even the way of, pushing up towards there needs to be some response from FaZe, because right now they're just sitting back and pretty much taking what Gambit are throwing at them.
FaZe Clan again focusing on a lot of the defense on the outer yard, considering the repetition of the strats from Gambit, and it, at the moment at least, would appear as though it's going to be a repeat, but I believe the bomb has positioned itself just on top of the ladder room, so there is the option in case the initial Ivy push or T-Con push goes badly, I think it changes up to an inner hit, but right now it's almost always just been outer plays from the side of Gambit, and it actually looks like they are going to be calling off the Ivy play after Mao and Doja do toss out their smokes in that direction. Still drawing the attention, but you can also notice on the CT side of things that AZ has started an early rotation back towards CT to maybe help out Keo a little bit there, as he's currently the lone defender of this B site where now Gambit have finally decided to change up the play over towards this one.
You said it spot on there. AZ was actually posturing very far back towards CT, but it's Fox to commit over towards Keo. You've got to argue Keo is a very good solo snipe player at the moment. He's starting to find some real name for himself, but this time just gets completely outdone by Adren. He's been having a wonderful go of it for himself here in this matchup. Fox could be want to respond accordingly though. Looking for an angle, can't find it. Mo does though. That's Jacob gone now 5v3. The CT side looking a little bit weary on this retake. And definitely lacking in numbers and utility to find. No flashes, no nades, no nothing to flash, clear out these corners, and I think it's time to back away, and they know it. Off they go. Fox, AZ, and Rain gonna make a dash to try and keep hold of these weapons, maybe be able to buy around it, but look at Gambit going hunting straight away.
Gambit know they're running at this point, so they're gonna try to cut them off at the heels as they move out over here. Doja waiting for some of them to work their way out, and they know that they're gonna be pushing out over here towards the Ivy approach. 3 of them though, from FaZe, hugging that wall. Doja doesn't even care. He's creeping up. He's ready to go. He's ready to hunt down some of these frags, and HG goes in. However, Fox and AZ are able to hold their ground for now by taking down Doja and Hooch. So some losses coming in from Gambit, but with the money they have, thankfully, they can afford to eat that up for the time being. As Gambit take yet another round and now take the lead away from FaZe.
These rounds are starting to get a little closer, but not close enough. It doesn't really matter for FaZe. It just becomes expensive more than anything. Gambit were able to rebuy into this. They've been getting the plants, getting the rounds below their belt. Considering FaZe did, turn the second pistol round after a little bit of a shaky thing. Excuse me, Gambit turning the pistol round against FaZe on the second go of it, but then FaZe going on the streak. That's where those early rounds came from. Once these 4 buys have come out, Gambit have actually started to look substantially stronger than I expected. Let's keep our eyes into this. This time, they've got a difference going on here as well, let's be honest here.
Doja getting a good lineup there against AZ, finding him wildly peeking out towards Ivy. Not able to take him down just as of yet, but does do some serious damage. It's going to make him think twice about peeking out, even for intel again. And Fox just missing the swipe. It does give Keo an opportunity to push back into the box halls, though. Finds his first pickup and the second one. Nicely played by Kiyoshima. And now any attempt at a B push is going to be dead.
Got to argue that Doja has been outplaying AZ so far as well, so that has left a chance towards Ivy, but Adren's been on pushing out through teammate. Dozier pushing up Ivy now, has the attention of 2, however. That's not going to be easy for him, and there we go. Finally, Rain's going to be able to take a solo fight against him and wins it out. AZ supporting, catching Adren, leaving Mo the last man alive. And finally, this looks like a clean round coming out, but no, I spoke too soon. Jacob feeds himself to the machine, and Fox will close out. So, well, at least for FaZe, they win the round and keep it clean here, because their money is very, very low.
There is finally that usual strat that we've been seeing from Gambit, which has been repeated over and over again, finally getting punished. Due to that good positioning there from Kiyoshima, pushing the upper halls towards the B-bomb site, grabbing those first 2 kills, and then the rest of it just looks sloppy from that point forward. Doja's in a push towards Ivy, lands him in a Molotov where he doesn't pick up anything whatsoever, and then the final 2 are just easy pickings, essentially. So now we need to see some innovation from Gambit. Now we need to see something a little bit different. If they still want to go for outside, that's perfectly fine. Plenty of teams do choose that, but there needs to be a bit of a different approach to it, because that default lineup is just not going to work so much anymore, since FaZe Clan are expecting that almost every single time.
Heads are definitely switched on here for FaZe, knowing what's coming their way, but it comes down to, again, to these individual duels or small fights going on across the map, and Dozier still tagging up AZ. This guy's being so dominant, and it's been strange watching him be a lurker almost. Sura and Koppel was able to find so much space to operate. Not so much this time. You can see Rain and AZ both just putting a little bit of utility there, pushing him back, saying, no, you don't get an easy path through, you've got to work for it if you want it. But Gambit have all the smokes, all the time in the world still. They can happily rewrite this A site to their needs and try and go for a play off the back. Jacobs will be pushed up by close to Electric, not quite there, has some safety towards his right side, almost waiting for the push out and then to strike, but Gambit aren't really going for this yet.
Adrian pushing his way back up on top of the first train there, looking for the pickup he needs, but can't pick it up this time. Rain does take him down. And now the switch-up play is going to be coming in towards the inner bomb set. Kiyoshima hiding behind the panels. Nobody's checking it, so this first kill's for free. Even steals the second one away from his teammate. AZ is going to be a big assistant on that one, but then Rain coming back in along with Jacob shuts down the entire offensive from Gambit, and they get nowhere with that play.
And I'm a huge fan of the way Keo plays that spot down low by the spindle rather than being up top on the ladder. You have so much utility for to back away, find different angles, and play safe enough that you can still almost, not necessarily solo it, but you can buy time for support to arrive. And worked out very well. And Gambit looking for adaptation. You can see them trying out different things, just not working out as perfectly as I can imagine they'd want, which has now put them in a bad spot, and with the money, of course, being a little less than ideal. 3 Deagles, 1 P250, and a Glock there for Mo, just going to be suffering throughout this round. And what damage with that nade.
already doing some huge damage, and I think one with equal damage was tossed out over here. But
That flash, what is that, easy?
You wrecked yourself. Nicely done. And not only this now, but Rain's gone down on the pop-up train. So Jacob moving in is going to try to turn this around for his team. Thankfully, that attempt is going well. He's found 2 kills over there towards the ladder room, knocking up with Hooch and Mo. And Space, Doja, and Adren fall in sequence to recover from that bit of a rocky start for FaZe Clan.
Yeah, Jacob being, having to be sharper than a butcher's pencil at that point after AZ decides to make it a little bit easier for Dozier. Just, I'll flash me for you. A little bit of an interesting way of doing things. 7-5 though. This scoreline starting to break ahead for FaZe. Let's remind ourselves again that no other team, well, no team, if I'm not mistaken, has actually broken into double digits. No one has yet against FaZe throughout this entire qualifier. 8 rounds is the most that anyone's achieved. That was Dignitas on Mirage. So already 5's not bad, but Keo, not what you wanted there, was it? Again,
Yeah,
what's going on?
The best part was he walks forward halfway up ramp and then realizes that he missed it. Didn't see that it bounces on the panel up on top.
It's getting late, okay, it's
Mistakes were made, clearly. But for FaZe Clan here now, getting back their edge, 7-5. Now Gambit going back into the lineup, although definitely keeping the options open for a B tick at this point. Doja definitely not committing over there towards Ivy's vet, holding back in that little cubby while he waits for the rest of his team to make up their mind about how exactly they do want to play this. FaZe Clan, though, is still expecting some action to come from T-Con. You can see Fox and Jacob with very aggressive positions, but definitely going to start to see some stuff happening. Space leads the charge, but it's just him. It's going to work out. Unfortunately, took a little bit too much damage from that first duel, so Keo, he's going to be able to burn him down with the Molotov. Now, though, they execute from T-Con, and that first player up by E-Box is not going to work out so well. Following suit, Fox goes down as he's too far out in the open in front of the bomb train, and from the back, it's AZ picking up his first kill of the round here against Adrian.
Hooch can stop anything that Rain wants to do. Flash actually did catch out Hooch, so Mo has to pull himself into it, but by now you can already see that Rain's off. He knows this one's not going to work his way, and suddenly a little bit of firepower beside the Gambit boys. Taking a little bit of risk on that, but Rain will manage to keep an AK. I'm not sure if they're going to hunt him down on this one. Their money, yeah, no way are they doing that. So they're going to keep hold of these as close to the chest as they can.
Nobody's even got $1,000 at this point. Biggest thing they got is Hooch with 800, so you want to focus up on that one, despite the fact there's only a few rounds left in the half. Rain actually getting a first duel against Doja, but messing up the spray, and with that, Doja's going to take him down, so no saves at all for FaZe Clan going into one of the final rounds. They thankfully still should have enough money, 9K and about 6K left over on 2 of their guys, which should make up for the 2.6K and 3.8 from Rain and AZ, allowing them for still a full buy, I believe with an op as well, coming back into the mix there.
Let's see what they have. Yeah, all good. Spread out, nicely done. FaZe still leading, but by a very thin margin. You'd argue that their T-side has been the more impressive part, but Gambit have really shown some presence. And look at Mo, definitely looking for a fight here, straight out already. Trying to dominate the angle down by Ivy, but AZ is actually pushed up, as is another, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's Rain. They've got their boosted up and over. So they're going to try and deny Dozier quickly, and then regain some control down by Ivy, which in theory they should very much be able to achieve, but oh no, tell a lie, Dozier's gone wild. Rain falls, AZ wins it out, but now they've lost out on presence towards A, which has already been a tough task to hold.
Fox waiting for the first shot, goes for the flick, but the train's in the way. Not going to meet the connection. Jacob behind E-Box, though, even transferring the spray back over there towards the ladder room, but it's going to be Space that moves out and picks up 2 kills against both Jacob and Fox. Easy, trying to move his way back up to the site, but holds firm just outside of the tunnel. And now as he creeps forward a little bit here, unfortunately, he's lost his initiation rights. Everybody in their solid post-plant positions, and you can see that now as Hooch is tested, and he holds strong against Kiyoshima. Easy now going to be the last one left alive. And as he pushes forward, finds that first kill against Space, but he's running out of time very quickly. He doesn't even really know where Mao is hiding out at. So Mo's going to be able to take him down, and now we go tied again, 7-7, heading into the final round of the first half.
And you mentioned it before, that little bit of money that was retained by Fox supplemented the others. Now, of course, not able to do so. So a very stripped back purchase here. And considering even on full buys, FaZe have not been as proficient as maybe they'd hope, Gambit should have this one in the bag. Let's see if they can do that now. Everything they want with them. Will they go back to the default? Will they be able to keep finding success doing the way they have? Looks like Mo definitely wants to. Doesn't get the wall bang going through towards Connector. Jumped out of the way of, and already Rain up close and personal. Desperate for that CZ to find his destination, but last time Keo actually pushed up, they did have some relative success, and let's bear in mind, Fox has now joined him, so both of the players finding info here, so the others should be ready for what's coming their way towards A.
Moving up there, but the smoke will get in the way. Not going to be able to find anything against AZ just as of yet. For the rest of Gambit, though, proceeding pretty quickly through the B hallways, but they're going to have to watch out for Kiyoshima. He's pushed all the way up the ramp. Fox is supporting him from behind as well. We can see them sneaking down. If they continue this pace down the stairs, this is where Kyo could impact, and indeed they walk right into the trap. 2 for him, looking for a third, but Mo puts a stop to that, takes down Kyo, and Fox apparently didn't want any part of this as he's retreated very safely back down the ramp.
It's not baiting if you clutch, all right, Fox, so make sure you do some work here. He does have the CZ2 flashes, so he can still hold his own at this point. AZ and Rain, they don't want to over-rotate, they don't want to over-commit to this because there could still be a back. There's 45 seconds. They don't have to commit just yet, but Fox expends one of those 2 flashes he had. 3 players now lining up. This could still be deadly. Rain's now joined him, so the 2 CZ players are on the B site. The others have a little to work with on the retake. And it looks like we're about to see go time. 2 players about to pour in. They don't check for Rain. Doja's called out Fox, but Rain's still looking to do damage. Can't get it done. Now left in a 2v2. It's retake time.
With the 2v2 in play, the good news is for FaZe is they have players coming from either side, and indeed AZ is going to be tapping away, and he finds the first pickup there against Mo. Now Adrian trying to hold this, but he picks up that first one, turning it around, even spots Jacob a little bit there as he comes out of the smoke. The pop flash from the right, it's not really going to hit that well, and Jacob just going for the defuse on his own, but in fact he comes out, it doesn't matter though. Adrian closes things out on his own, and indeed Gambit will lead the charge coming out of the first half.
So guys, do make sure to stay tuned. This is the last game of the day, and it looks to be an absolute cracker. We'll be back after the break. As promised, this was going to be a good game, and the scoreline certainly represents that. 8-7 on the half now. Gambit do lead, but FaZe have shown so much promise on their T side. It has turned heads throughout this entire event. For Blue, this is the final half of the final game, the second to last day.
Absolutely, and this is going to determine a lot of what we see from our matches tomorrow. Are FaZe going to have to try and battle back now, or will we see Gambit in that sort of position tomorrow? This is for a slot in the major, folks, so if you make it through here, this is the easiest possible path to get your way into Cologne. Otherwise, you're going to have to try and win at least one more match tomorrow. Try and take one of the remaining 6 slots. But to start off the pistol round here now as Gambit jumps on the defense. Doja actually spotting a lot of intel there, holding close up to the ramp. Seeing at least 3 of those players pushing in, but now FaZe is going to try to push out, struggling to pick up that first kill against Adrian. Puts himself down to 29 HP, and Doge as well now falls back behind the tanker, so they're going to let them get a lot of control, which could prove dangerous later on, but there's FaZe picking up the first mark for these guys against Fox.
They do actually have a smoke on Hooch still, so Keo with the molly might be negated at this point. Keep your eyes on that little battle going down, but the retake has to come through first from Gambit to that even be a point. Mo catching off FaZe. Okay, here we go. Rain's fallen. This is looking better. Jacob's on the flank, and now here comes Keo with the molly. Hooch still has the possibility to do it. There it goes. There's a defuse, and a very clean start here in the second half for Gambit.
I actually like the fact that they bring a smoke specifically for that purpose, since it's now become such a common thing to just use the perfect position in the back of B and upper there, just to molly it down. You're almost 100% safe there unless they have it pre-planned to push you from the back of upper. So nicely played there by the guys on Gambit, and with that now, their lead extends a bit more, 7-9, as they take control of this pistol here in the second half. But it was a bit chaotic on the first half, if you remember properly. However, from the looks of FaZe Clan, since they did get the plant there, they're not going to be going for a big investment on the second round. They're just going to be saving for round number 3.
See the approach to this. 3 rifles. Going to make it hard to find some room to work with here for FaZe Clan. Keo going to pick up the Deagle. Bit of a spray down from Space, and you can see FaZe just all going for the face here, trying to get some damage dealt so they can at least pick up something, but absolutely nothing coming out of it. Look at that. Even the MP9 finding some range, and a clean couple of rounds coming out for Gambit. This is going to build that money up real nice and quickly for them. We're going to see the buy-up coming in for FaZe here into this round.
So now, of course, as things get into the next round, the investment comes out from FaZe Clan, but it's not going to be the best, if we're completely honest. Look at the utility. They've got the AKs, that's great, but they've got no smokes, they've got no Molotovs, all they were flashbangs. So this is going to be relying on raw entry power to find a way into the site.
Any team who can do it, you'd argue it would be FaZe out of these two. A lot of raw firepower there, but still not exactly ideal. This could put them, set them back a fair bit. And Dozier looking hungry to try and get something going towards B. That's Ren and Jacob. They're just trying to bait out for info, trying to find any sort of mistakes the Gambit might make under pressure. But so far, Dozier cool as a cucumber, chilling out. Not going to go for too much. 1 minute and 19 to bear for Gambit.
Keo as well, postulating up over here towards T-Con, starting to sneak his way in now. Not going to have to deal with anybody just as of yet, but there are some players on the outside there, mainly Spaze right now, whose attention is drawn over towards the ladder room, but still all's quiet on the battlefield. Hooch, though, he's going to get time to party in a second, as Easy and Fox getting ready to go into Ivy together. A bit long range with that one, so just peeking it here and there to try and decide when is the best time to throw out the smoke, and as soon as he gets some fire back, well, there you go, time to throw the smoke.
40 seconds now. This is going to be one big all-in push of things pretty much here for FaZe. They need to time it absolutely perfectly, otherwise this utility is going to absolutely destroy them. Space is going to be the one to spot it out first. Adjusts really well towards Fox, even continues on towards Keo there, so 4v4, make it a 4v3. The raw aim is coming through for FaZe.
Hooch, though, around this corner. Oh, actually, again, Easy finding a good pickup there. Rain with another one. That's it. This round's done for. Doja can't hope to really accomplish all that much. He's got a couple players low. If he knows that, he may be able to go in and try to work with something, but Jacob should have 100% just spotted him there, and I believe that is the case. So as he pushes his way up the Ivy tunnel, kind of awaiting his doom at this point, but FaZe are being passive. He needs to watch out, though, because Jacob is coming in on the flank, and that's going to take him down before he can even get that damage that he was looking for. And indeed, right around the corner, and he's dead. Jacob will eliminate him with no trouble whatsoever. And in fact, the guys on FaZe Clan won't lose any additional players, so very clean there on the recovery with the third round force-up. And with that, they keep things close, 8-10.
Very close indeed. But Gambit can rebind to this. They did stick on those SMGs for, a round too long, you could argue, but you can't always assume that the team will come in to train with only rifles and a flash and a bit of armor. It's not exactly the done thing all the time, but FaZe can definitely pull it off. So now FaZe going back in with a lot more behind them. Now they have to, well, they have even more to supplement what they brought in the last round, and they're going to be forcing these guys out of position. But look at the response here. Gambit going aggressive on other parts of the map. Adrian getting info towards the B site. They tried to capitalize on this, but he has fallen back, and already Space catching off AZ might hinder some of this approach, but it looks like FaZe are committing towards B.
Adrian finding another pickup there as well, and that's going to be a third from second, actually. As he actually the assistant on one more frag. But Fox moving in, trades it back, able to take him down. Mo, though, finding another pickup on his own regard, taking down Rain. And it's all on Fox now, even trying to decide if he wants to go for this plant. He's rude. He keeps getting interrupted, so moves out and keeps finding those kills. This time it's against FaZe, and in the 1v2, might have a very real chance at this one, but he's got to be careful with that positioning. That nade looks like it's going to fall just a little bit short. Mao down a little bit low, but again, using the smoke to try to retreat back. And again, the perfect position with the molly, and there's no smoke on the CTs this time, so they're going to have to be careful and make sure they rush him as quickly as possible, and they're not, which is now going to prove troublesome because I don't even think they realize he fell back there as of yet. And there you go, molly goes directly over the bomb.
And they don't have a kit here. This is going to make it even more costly. Mo is going hunting to the left side. Fox hears that, looks for it, gets it down low, but with the clock ticking, Hooch is running the hell away. Fox playing the 1v2 exceedingly well. Picking up so many in such an important round. You can see that they're proud of him on that one. That was a big, big play from him. FaZe now closing the gap even further at 9-10.
Very well played there by FaZe, and now that, again, closes the gap even further so, and I believe that completely destroys the CT economy, too.
Yep.
All these players just sitting around 2K. Single safe territory, assuming they don't invest too heavily here. And indeed, that'll be what we'll be seeing from these guys now. Just P250s for Mao, Doja, and FaZe, though. There will be nothing, so definitely saving up on this one. And we'll just be refocusing on the next round when they tie things up.
Good play coming out from Rain. Wanted to use that Mag 10, but a little hap-handed from Keo. Don't know why he joined him, and oh my word, what's gone on here? Bit of a back and forth, actually, far more costly than FaZe would have wanted. It's going to be the likes of Mo to do a bit more. Everyone's chiming in with a bit of damage into this one. And now Mo and FaZe last two alive, but they've done some brilliant work. You can see it was an extremely clean round, excluding that one M4 that was retained. And Fox and AZ have to save the day again.
FaZe Clan kind of stuck behind the E-Box right now, but the problem is Gambit haven't been able to retrieve any extra cash. So with that, as soon as they try to get aggressive, they will ultimately meet their doom in the open. One of them has already gone down, and with that, Fox finds the final kill too. So they do eventually take control, but as you mentioned, much more costly than they would have expected here, which going into this gun round now could still technically mean eco territory for FaZe if Gambit are able to win here.
It's pretty much been the Fox show in the last couple of rounds. He did really well in the last one, and prior to that, he even just closed it out. So may not be necessarily the biggest fragger. I actually don't know if he is. He might be. No, just towards the top, sitting there. But the kills have been pretty influential for him. So well done. Really good from Fox. Rain again just going straight out towards A. AZ's now joined him a little bit more tentatively, but out nonetheless. And Rain still won in a fight here. Just shots off towards train 1. Adrian's found AZ, so his support has been removed. But while this happens, 3 players are proceeding to get through on B. Keo being one of them, already out, greeted with a smile by Dozier, leaving just Jacob and Fox to face their fate here, with 5 players left standing against them.
Jacob just tapping from that range here, but it's Fox that finds another kill just at the bottom of the ramp. Unfortunately, though, while they do find this plan, they've got some big odds working against them, but Fox is going to help to try and even those a little bit. Taking down FaZe from range there as he gets himself to the bottom of the ramp, but Adrian sneaking up through the tanker direction there, takes it down, the molly in hand again, and again also, no smoke for these guys. Hooch gonna get hit pretty heavily too, down to 18 HP.
Oh my god,
what?
Fox!
Dozier just burned himself, and now it's just Adrian who's got to run over to the bomb to try and defuse this, where I don't even think there's really enough time to do it. He's tapping on the bomb, he's trying to force him out. There's no reason for Fox to peek it, though. It's just going to be a mind game a little bit. He peeks it, but as soon as he does, he finds that last kill. You can see the hype on FaZe now, because Fox just pulled off an incredible clutch. That's a 2-on-4 hold from FaZe.
Sick play from Fox. That is absolutely god tier. You shouldn't be able to get away with that. Don't get me wrong, Gambit played into his hands, but he still played it like an absolute champ. And there is the tactical timeout coming in for Gambit. And I don't blame them. This has been a blistering comeback.
I would have liked to see, I don't think Doja's was like as haphazard as it sort of appeared from our point of view with us just seeing the X-ray. I think he tried to inch his way towards the molly
Maybe
and
just spread,
like trying to defuse it right off, but he didn't actually realize he stepped inside of it, and then it just, there's also, you have to remember too, that like a couple seconds into the molly, it does go a couple extra inches outwards, so I think that's might have been what caught him off guard there, and eventually led to his own death. So maybe not as much of a mistake as it appeared from our point of view, but still, the fact that he clutches that out is a huge deal, so nicely done from FaZe, and now, well, they got the lead back. And not only this too, but the money for Gambit is shaky at best.
Yeah, it really is. I really wish I could have seen that from Dozier's perspective, because I think you're right that it did just spread towards him, but still, at this level of game, pretty much the easiest route that they could qualify through without having to go, down below and have to fight their way back into qualifying through to the major. Gambit making errors like this is just not okay after being so on point, being so switched on. FaZe creeping back in, or should I just say Fox? Fox has been the one to be doing the last pretty much 3 rounds have been absolutely sublime. Not that many people can compete with that sort of play. He's clutched 2 rounds in ridiculous situations, and the other he's still got like 4 or if not more kills. So again, yeah, Fox, you got to shut him down, but even outside of that, FaZe are starting to look more and more alive here.
definitely. As for Gambit, though, definitely putting up a pretty good fight here still, keeping things close, but now as they've started to lose some of their steam on the CT side, they need to find a way back into it, especially with those kinds of mistakes as well. As you mentioned, definitely don't want to be making them here when this match means a lot. You're still going to have to battle tomorrow if you don't win this one. So keeping that in mind and keeping your easy ticket punch right here in this match, especially when you were looking good coming off the first half, would be quite a feat to accomplish, especially for Gambit too, who I don't really think people were expecting some really any great things from them coming into this qualifier, considering their fairly poor online results.
Yeah, especially in comparison to FaZe, if you want to just look at this purely this matchup. But even prior to now, the results have been impressive and they've been showing some real fire, but at the moment, just being outplayed, even just maybe individually at this point, making silly mistakes, pressure against him, who knows? I'd like to find out in the interview afterwards what they feel may be an issue there. But again, down to about 30 seconds here on the countdown. They are using all of this time to discuss it. They'll be going into probably a very shoddy purchase here. Most of them below 3K, just a few breaking above, 3.3 with Dozier, 3.5 with Adrian. On the other side, a very well-flushed, well enough flushed side, should I say. You even mentioned that the economy is still very fragile for FaZe. They've been getting rounds, but they've been clutches, they've been close, they have not been clean pickups. So again, it's still a nice edge. FaZe are only one ahead, but how many in a row has it been now? So 4 in a row for the T side, which is FaZe, of course. So yeah, they do need to stop this right about now.
Should be getting on pause in just a moment, guys, and just as I said that, we do get on pause. Yeah. So we'll be going back into the game here now, but for Gambit, as you can already see from the buy, it's definitely not going to be anything impressive whatsoever.
No.
A CZ armor buy coming out on Adrian, who actually has been one of the more highlightable players here. Talked about it being the Mo show, but I mean, Adrian's still showing some fairly impressive stuff as well here, especially in the uptight and close situations where he needs to sort of adjust his aim on a moment's notice. He's been pretty fantastic at doing that kind of stuff.
Gambit with, well, what is essentially their name. A bit of a Gambit here, and Rain's been called out. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4! Wow, oh my god, it wasn't 4 in the end. I have to calm down. That was quick enough. Blink and you miss it. Pretty easy round. At least Gambit get out of the way.
And then the ravaging nade to close it out as well there. But here you can see Rain does have some support behind him, of course, from Jacob. That chimes in with some assisting kills. And Hoot just gets wrecked by that nade. I think that was 108 damage nade.
Yeah, it was. Like, hit him in the face. Oh, 12 to 10, FaZe. Well, hopefully for Gambit, they just went, all right, let's get that out of the way. Let's just, that's one of those rounds you do just have to go, all right, screw it, just get it done. We don't want to just mess around on these pistols, let's just get it done. Dusted, even though they have been doing a lot of damage in those sort of rounds, but not the point right now. They are back on the buy, AWP in the hands of Mo. Limited utility, but well enough spread. Still a couple of mollies here and there to slow down the T side to make them a little more hesitant towards just encroaching on this map. So again, slow stuff from FaZe here, just taking their time too.
So things being spread out a little bit. FaZe also lining up for the default right now, but definitely leaving still plenty of options open to change that up if need be. Gambit, though, focusing on this being an outer play. As you can see, Adrian shifting himself a little bit closer to the site with Hooch falling back, watching for the Ivy play to come in. Adrian, though, a little bit more mobile about himself, moving back and forth, but with the timer starting to crawl down towards 1 minute here, FaZe Clan are going to start to make some noise. Well, taking off some pot shots there in hope of finding somebody in T-Con, but as you can see, of course, there's nobody to be found as of yet. He may get a chance to take down Keo if he peeks, but all of this now is a lineup to push them over to the B-bomb site, where they aren't actually going to be making the play from. And keep in mind the position of AZ here, too, as he's going to be a late addition pushing in through Ivy, and that could cut off a lot of the rotators from the outer site.
It's a long old rotate to go on for AZ, but he's going to do it, and it'll be perfect. He can either keep them dedicated towards A longer than they should be, or he can just run into Hooch and just die, maybe to his own molly. In the end, Jacob will find a Dren, and that's going to leave Dozier the main man on this B side.
Look at him, though. They don't know that he's up this close, so we can just walk right up now. Finds the first kill. Thankfully, Rain did spawn before he does too much damage, so the trade comes right back in from Rain. Down to a 4-on-3, but AZ being a little bit low. He can still punch in, though, and try to pinch these remaining players. But look at Spaze and Mo picking up 2 kills on their own. Keo and Fox go down. Rain having to push up, but this is that aggression you need to see to counter that out. And, well, AZ's here, but you missed the party, man. And he's going to find one more pickup on a Mo, but it doesn't matter as Gambit have already defused the bomb.
12 to 11. Gambit's conversation may have worked out. I'm not sure what it was. I'm not sure if it was that much of a big difference, but maybe just cooling down, calming themselves back into the game, not getting too flustered by it all, even though it was a big build-up from FaZe. Because they were losing clutches and things that really take maybe a conversation more than an adjustment of tactic. And now FaZe get another shot at it, though. Still with enough money to keep this one going. Still have the AWP on Fox. And a quick hit towards the A site here. That's going to be matched by Fox and Jacob as well. Working their way through Pop. Well, the mollies are burning them alive, but not too much. So just tickling the bottom of their feet as Kyo's made it towards the side itself. Somehow allowed to go completely wild here. Picks up 2, completely opens it. Mo gets run over, and FaZe strike back with incredible dominance.
Rain finding another one against Hooch, and it's all in Doja's hands. Stuck in Z, completely smoked off. Kyo's even going to move in. He's feeling confident now after these first couple of kills. I don't know what Doja's looking at, but definitely not the headline there as Kyo just swipes him down. And that's a big run from him where he's just allowed to rop onto the site. Look at this, jumping through the bomb train. First pickup, second pickup, and even moves in and take down Doja as well later on in the round.
I don't know how you can allow a player, not necessarily just like of Kyo's caliber, but any player to get that close to the site without even getting spotted. Like, sure, okay, you have to play pretty passively or respectfully when they're, doing those big hits. You don't want to take straight up fights, but allowing someone straight through is kind of insane. So 5 play stack from Gambit. They only have pistols. It's an actual eco for once. My word.
Kyo, though, wanting to continue his fragging power from the last round, but he's got to be careful of the presence coming back in. Thankfully, Jacob moving himself back down to the ladder does give some presence to the fact that there's a lot of players close up towards T-Con. The Kyo may not just want to rush out like he did in the last round. Good reaction, though, catching Mo as he pushes back up, and Jacob also able to take down Doja, so this eco, unfortunately, not going to lead to too much pressure against the guys from FaZe whatsoever. And as Adrian falls up in heaven, it will end it in the favor of FaZe. Very close to ending this now in their favor, 14-11, just 2 more to go.
FaZe a couple of rounds now away from making it into the major here. 14-11, their money is looking more and more robust as well. You've got players sitting on 8k. Kyo, for example, buffing that out. Rain not too far off either. AZ looking pretty secure. And on the other side, a bit of a travesty for Gambit. After what was a really rather endearing first half, it's just kind of crumbled a little here. You're going to see them having to go back in with everything they have to try and secure this one and get it on the board. Dozier could be tested again. Early presence from FaZe on those brown halls, just keeping Dozier dedicated, keeping the entirety of Gambit incredibly humble.
FaZe firing off a lot of shots at the back of B right now. But cautious that Doja may have pushed his way inside of there. Gonna put some heavy presence up close in the B side. As you can see, Adrian didn't bite him initially, but now is falling back towards Z, since there's also some presence covering itself over here towards the outer yard too. FaZe Clan themselves haven't exactly weighed in on which side they want to take this towards as of yet, but with the pressure reapproaching its way over here towards the Ivy area, I do believe this may end up working its way out onto the A bomb site once again. With FaZe and Mao being your point players to try and hold it, and Hoocher as well, watching out for Ivy presence.
Yeah, Hooch has to be actually pretty important here. He's having a bit of a lackluster game for his caliber, so if they did go flat split towards A, he'd have to hold off Fox and AZ, or at least make it competitive. But as you can see, it looks like a rotate's coming through from FaZe, not fancying hitting that A site right now. Dozier and Adren are, however, posted on B still. No rotate there from them. So take a full commitment from FaZe to break into.
And Adrian ready for the upper pressure to come back in. Meanwhile, Doja is going to be watching for the ramp play. Positions could manage to catch the guys from FaZe off guard, but nicely done by Rain. Finds the first target. Doja, though, below, behind the spindles, finding his first pickup. That's all he is going to get, though. Rain taking him right back down. And for these guys on Gambit, they're trying to push back in, but there's nothing to be found. Hooch is already the last one alive, and Rain's not even going to let him get away. Moves to the edge of the upper push and takes down Hooch, letting no survivors make it out of that round, breaking the economy once again for the CTs. And putting FaZe Clan on match point.
And look at the disparity in money here. FaZe can withhold, they can withstand, they can go a couple of rounds without success, but Gambit are struggling. They're scraping together every single penny, and now FaZe 1 round away from making it through to the major. That's what's in their horizons, that's what's in their sights. And let's see if they can secure it in this round. Already, aggression shown. 4 players stacked towards A from Gambit. It's an all-in. They need to make this work. Good flashes keeping back the T side. Not allowing people like Rain to fly out again or Fox to have his way. Down to 13 HP already. And hopefully for Gambit, it's not feeling so lucky for Fox this round.
That's ringing true against Fox early on. And Jacob now at the bottom of the ladder room, ready to burst out onto this bomb site. Mo, though, says no to that one. Taking out Jacob pretty quickly. And some more presence going to be coming in from Hooch in a moment. They're trying to finish off Fox, but he can't find the hit just as of yet. The rest of FaZe Clan, in the meantime, still holding back, not wanting to overpressure the site here, especially when Gambit do have a bit of an advantage going for themselves right now.
Oh, this is risky.
Yep. The pressure now coming in from the back of the B-bomb site. Doja and Adrian. This could pay off in huge dividends, though, considering this is correlating with the timing. They're actually starting their hit, and there you go. What? Rain! Amazing reaction from him to take down Doja, but he's still got to be careful of Adrian, too, who's going to be dropping down in just a moment.
I just picked my jaw off the floor because that was absolutely sick. Now 4v3, Gambit are being just bullied, broken and beaten at this point. FaZe, Adrian and Hooch, the ones to keep this one in check. Adrian's found one, FaZe responds as well, but it's down to AZ and Keo to drag their team to the major now. AZ claims the scalp of FaZe and it's down to Adrian in a 1v2. He was on the long con, he was playing that long flank. He already gave away his position though, giving 1 kill away. Can he find 2 more? Spots out AZ. And old Keo's in a stunning position. Nothing to be done. It is FaZe making it through to the major. Their turn to shine, and Gambit, well, they're not done just yet, but their route is going to get a little bit more difficult now.
Indeed, they go back down to the 2-1 margin now with their first loss coming onto the board, where they're going to compete against a lot of other teams tomorrow. Should have the draw coming up in just a little bit to showcase those matches, but now we have our first 2 teams out of the 8 signed up now for Cologne, and it's going to be FaZe and Mouse Sports that we decided here today.
I've got to say that this format has given us some great games so far. I can't wait to see who else will be joining them. That'll be happening tomorrow, but that's enough from us. Let's hear from the analysis desk as to what they have to say about that match.
Thanks, guys. It does seem like the right team won, just because, and I say that only because FaZe came into this one with the most chilled out vibe I've ever seen in an interview. Just like, yeah, we've thrown all the strats out the window, it didn't work for us. We're going to run around and win duels. Well, they've just gone and done it 3-0. Couldn't have asked for a better performance from FaZe. Of course, commiserations to Gambit, like they said, they'll be playing tomorrow. So the end of the road is still much further away from the CIES team, but for now we will focus on the one in hand. Train, done and dusted. Natu, Vendetta, what are we thinking about this one? I actually have to, in my books, Gambit put up more of a fight than the desk sounded like they anticipated.
Yeah. It's accurate. It's accurate. I didn't expect it to be that close, and honestly, if it hadn't been for Fox's heroics on that T side, where he came up big in 3 rounds in a row, that could have gotten really hairy for FaZe, but in the end they pull through, and they do it, you know, in the most FaZe way possible, really. It's individuals stepping up and just out-dueling their opponents.
Damn it. Is this just going to be the story for FaZe as they go to Cologne now? It's going to be like, well, they just won AIM Duels and they're in the final. And they've won in the AIM Duels and they've won the grand final.
Well, it became a bit of an issue, obviously, in the first half, the start of the game, the win pistol, and you lose the second round. That kind of sets the tone for the whole half, because they're going to be in a lot of trouble with their economy, and the way that Gambit plays is they're trying to grind the kills. They try to get the numbers advantage before committing to a bomb site. So they kept FaZe really humble for the most part of that first half. Picking up 7 rounds is obviously going to be a good job on the T side, all things considered. But then, like Halvard just said, it's pretty much off of Fox's amazing performances there in a couple of rounds that kept FaZe in the game, and then just broke the economy for Gambit, and that was pretty much it. So
do we swallow our pride, and do we give Gambit more credit than, you know, than we did initially? Is this a team that we need to discuss further?
Well, absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why they made it to Columbus in the first place. Right. It's not like they're a ragtag team that isn't going to do damage to anyone, and I think to anyone who underestimates them, they're going to feel the pain of that. And we saw that versus Envy. Not sure if it was you know, them underestimating them, but we've seen Gambit actually put up pretty decent results, and we saw that they were really close to actually making it to the top 8 of the MLG Columbus. So they're nothing to scoff at, but when they're going up against a team like FaZe and the way FaZe is developing up to this point, you kind of still have to favor the multinational team.
And I mean, one of the individuals that we did kind of neglect to highlight, you touched on already actually, sorry, was Fox and his insane plays. I do want to also bring up Keo. It's been a bit of a kind of growth period for FaZe ever since he arrived, and he's waving at me now. Hey mate, we're going to talk to you in a moment. These guys are just going to say you're really good at games, and then we'll come to you, okay? All right. Hey guys, do you want to say Keo's good at games?
Yeah, he's really good at games.
There you go. Yeah.
No, he was not the problem.
Keo
was definitely not the problem.
I think we've established that much, and also it seems like
Yeah.
he has a more vocal part in this lineup than he had previously in Envy, for example. So it seems a little bit more relaxed, and seems to be having a lot of fun playing Counter-Strike right now.
I think that's a really nice way to end it, actually. It does feel like Keo has found his feet in FaZe, and they too have managed to get their feet in the major next month. We're going to head to Mitch, though, who's hanging out with the man himself, the problem himself. It's Kiyoshima standing by with Mitch.
Thank you very much, Alex. I am here with a very, very happy Kiyoshima, of course. First question, is Keo the problem?
I don't think so.
Good answer. That's all I want from you. Look, seriously though, you guys get another shot at the major. Columbus, we saw you guys, we saw a little bit of your performance as well, but now you get another crack at it. You're feeling better, of course, and now gelling, of course, now as the team that FaZe now is, how are you feeling to be going back under FaZe?
It's like a really good team. I like them really much. That's why I'm playing with them. And I think we perform a lot together. So I really like to play with those guys. They're like all amazing. It's like it's really good to play with those guys and all friendly. Everyone understands what I want and I understand what they want. So we're working well together for the moment.
Before we get onto the topic of the team and the game itself as well, you know, I'm sitting in the green room with the casters. We're talking about the game. Obviously, they're saying you're good at games the whole time, don't worry. But they're also saying you're looking a lot happier. You really seem to be enjoying yourself a lot more now in FaZe as well. Would you agree with that? Would you elaborate on that at all?
Yeah, completely. Like, it's mainly different. I really like to play with friends, and that's what happened in FaZe. They are all my friends, and it's really good to play with friends. You really like them. You enjoy playing. You don't enjoy playing with someone you don't like. It's really hard, and that's it. Play with friends. That's what I like.
Great. Who doesn't like that, of course, dude. Now, you guys, your strategy, we talked about it with Rain as well. They gave me a fairly short answer, but I got the point. You guys, a lot of your strategy is based around taking aim battles and winning them, right? That's what we see you guys do best. We saw you charging onto that A bomb side as well, just smashing 3 people's heads in like, on your own more than happily. So you will happily take those duels. What happens, maybe if we go towards a major or something like that, when you guys aren't finding that you're able to win the aim duels? Because Gambit was making it a little bit harder in the first half. So what then? How do you try and mix things up?
We don't even have to mix it up. It's not going to happen. We're always gonna win the aim duels, so it's fine.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me again, Fabian. A pleasure again. Well, there you have it, Alex. I think he's pretty cut and dry. FaZe don't lose aim duels. Keep that in your back of your head.
Thanks, Mitch. I'm just going to undo this because things are heating up.
And also, apparently, it's not fun to play. Not to play with.
Natty, don't remind me. I have to undo buttons and ties right now to maintain composure. Okay, well, a fantastic interview again from Mitch, drawing as much emotion as he possibly could out of Keo, and he's going to be very happy to be sitting there over with a ticket to Cologne. But now we do take a little bit of a different turn. We, of course, have been through 3 days of the qualifiers, and we are our little robot. It's actually a little robot that they have to crank up. They actually have to put a key in its back and turn it to generate the matches for tomorrow. It's currently under construction, so basically we're going to go ahead and just kind of reflect upon the day while they do get that a hamster in the wheel as well. It's running around trying to make sure we can get those predictions for you. Well, excuse me, those games for you. So let's go quickly and kind of run down what we did witness today. If I probed you guys for a match of the day, of course, Natty, you were wrapped in a duvet feeling really unwell for the majority of the day, so I'll start with Halvor. What was your kind of main game to highlight for us?
Probably, and it's probably the same game actually as I highlighted as my match to watch at the start of the game, which was Cloud9 versus Tyloo. Ended up being a really, really entertaining game. If you want to pick another game for a different reason, I guess you could go with G2 versus Mouse Sports, which caught everyone by surprise.
Yeah, I agree. The Mouse G2 game is the one that really is the highlight of today, in the sense that
depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much it seemed to me like the Frenchies took a day off and decided to just not come to play. I mean, they were here physically, but that was it. They were not here to play at all. So that was a weird one for me. Yeah. And also, obviously, the Tyloo Cloud9 game as well is really good. Cloud9 showing that they still can do those CT sides as long as they could actually find something going on the T sides. They could be an actual prominent team.
And of course, the 2 teams that have already departed from the CIS minor. Not too many eyebrows raised with the absence of Fluffy Gangsters and Empire. That's
I mean, again, we got the individual performances. Like, I mean, Little has to be the highlight, I guess, out of those 2 teams, for me at least. I mean,
definitely.
He used to be a good 1.6 player way back when, but you know, he's kind of been in between playing in teams like Z Nation and stuff like that previously. So not being really on our radars. So again, a storyline of CIS region players, you know, showing that they can be maybe in the future part of one of the bigger teams. Who knows?
Now, if you ask me, Immortals, Dignitas, guys, this is where I'm going to throw it back at you, but I just feel like these 2 teams need to be talked about because I have a feeling we aren't going to see both of them at the major.
I think you're right.
That's a scary prospect because these storylines are pretty intense.
I think they're big up psychologists. Both of them. For major qualifiers.
One of the teams will have to be able to break that mental barrier. And so the way it's looking right now, I'm more afraid for Dignitas than I am for Immortals.
Right.
We've seen 2 new games out of Dignitas. That was supposed to be their ace in the sleeve, and it really hasn't panned out too well. Sure, they got a win versus Empire, but that's something you'd expect from them on any given map, really. And well, basically the
that wasn't clear cut.
Oh yeah, exactly. They were pushed to the limit, and the destruction that they took from Hellraisers doesn't leave you with a lot of confidence in what's going on the Danish side.
I can agree with that, but for Immortals as well, like running with your point, there was some serious emotions, especially at interview Mitch with Zach saying that they basically went back to the hotel, talked about it, and realized, you know, just how much is on the line in these coming maps. They wept when they realized what they've got to do now.
That's their problem. Honestly, that is their issue. Their highs are high, their lows are too low. Right. It's a roller coaster of emotions for those guys. They need to be able to find a consistency where they're like robots more. Because they have the skill, obviously. Right. They are letting their emotions come into play too much, and I guess it might be a part of their culture as well, in a way. I
mean, they said in the interview that that's what drives them. You know, when they were asked, what are Immortals? He said, you know, we are driven by that noise that we make. So would you suggest that they have to change what they are in order to find more success?
Yeah, that could become a train wreck really quickly.
They can. Honestly, you do have kind of the correct recipe to look at, or you know, that you want to look for right across the street, which is the benefit that Immortals has. So even if it doesn't pan out this time, they don't make it to a qualifier, they have so much they can learn just from looking at Luminosity, talking to Fallen, and basically everyone on that team, because they found a good mixture of still being incredibly invested in their game and being excited for, you know, everything, but they also managed to take everything negative that goes against them in a good way. Like, they don't get deflated completely, they don't lose games because they get down on themselves like we see Immortals do from time to time now.
Is that a trap that, you know, well, I mean, Mouse Sports have got themselves into the major, but I feel like the same can kind of be applied to Mouse Sports. That it does seem like they have very high highs and incredibly low lows.
I think particularly Chris J. He seems to be a very emotional player. You know, he'll be screaming when they're winning, but as well, when things are not going right for him, he's going to be really down on himself. You can't really do that when you're going to be that impact offer that is supposed to be for the team.
And he did make that impact today.
Definitely.
Got an update, by the way, on the hamster. We've had to go and find 2 hamsters now. They're actually holding hands and running together in the wheel to generate these games. I'm hearing 60 seconds in my ear, and so we can continue to just talk a little more about the teams that do remain. We are still going to be seeing a little bit more from Splice, guys. You'll be happy to know Renegades are still sticking around as well. There's all these teams that are looking a little weak at the knees, and the chances of getting to those kind of 8 spots to the major are looking rather meek. Who is your dark horse, guys? Who is that team that you perhaps wouldn't anticipate? And I'm being told right now that the hamsters have done it, so please answer my question, but we'll also bring up a recap of the day and what's coming up tomorrow. Who's that dark horse for you?
A dark horse would still be Flipside, simply because of their tradition actually to make majors.
Oh man, and look where Flipside find themselves.
As I say that, yeah, I should have waited about 5 seconds before I finished that sentence.
What constitutes as a dark horse in this environment, though?
It's true, but
Splice?
Like, this is it, ladies and gentlemen.
What a rough draw for Gambit, though.
Yeah. They're not having it easy, are they?
They're really not. Honestly, yeah, no, it's a rough draw. Tyloo has to be pretty happy about where they find themselves right now. I think Dignitas can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief as well.
Not really
they
sure
have the
about
I think it's better for Dignitas to run into Renegades than it is to run into G2, to put it that way.
I mean, look at Envy, though. Envy versus Cloud9. That actually could prove to be a really good game.
Absolutely. Honestly, a lot of these matchups look really good. Hellraisers versus Optic, probably not the most... well, it's not the match that's going to pop off the screen for a lot of people, but that should be a really tightly contested game, which should be very fun to watch.
And we have the opportunity to see Immortals, the cornered Brazilian side, going up against Flipside. And they would have to beat Flipside, knock them out with their chance to get to the major. Flipside, of course, attending every major so far. So one of those 2 teams will not be present, and that's a kind of crazy concept. The same stands for Envy and Cloud9. It's going to be an amazing day tomorrow. Like, that does just perfectly set it up for what an incredible day. Closing thoughts, guys. You've seen it up. You've already touched on it. But like this does show that there's going to be a very different looking major than we have seen in the past.
It definitely is. I'm really excited for the games tomorrow. Probably, Hellraisers Optics going to be super fun to watch, but highlight of the day, probably Envy versus Cloud9 for me.
Yeah, I mean, this goes to show this format is great for having the absolute best in the major, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be, and we're exactly going to have that. So it's not going to be a free ride for Flipside, that's for sure.
All right, well, all of you CSGO fans, cross your fingers and toes for your favorite teams when we do go into Sunday. But this has been another fantastic day here at the ESL Arena for the offline qualifier. We aren't going to be the ones saying goodbye, though. Mitch is standing by on stage to go ahead and say his farewells in a typical Australian way.
It's the only way I know, Alex, I'll be honest with you. Well, the desk have pretty much wound things up here as well and given you guys an interesting prelude into our final day here at the ESL 1 Cologne offline qualifier. Today, what a day it was. There were highs and lows, thrills and spills, and plenty of kills. And of course, we did regrettably have to send 2 teams home. Commiserations to Fluffy Gangsters, and of course to Empire as well to fall out at this stage. But on the upside of things, we do welcome 2 new challenges to the major. It is going to be Mouse Sports, and of course, as we saw earlier on, what a game it really was. It'll be FaZe getting through. That was just back and forth action all the way through, just the way we like it. So tomorrow, 6 more spots are up for grabs. It's last chance saloon for all of the remaining teams to get their spot in Lanxess Arena for $1 million. We're going to be back at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, 12:30 local time, same channel. My same face is going to be here tomorrow. I hope yours is too. Good night.